I'll talk to you.
Just wanted to welcome you guys out here.
Amen. Praise God.
You certainly have a right to be out here. The only thing, just want to make sure you guys are aware, can't block any traffic coming in and out. And then the signage, you just can't post, like, set up the signage. You can certainly hold on to it and keep it going. But other than that, that's kind of all we got going on. So the signage that's standing up, if you don't mind taking that down, that would be awesome. But you're certainly welcome to walk and hold it and proceed that way.
Okay. When you say, like, stand it up, so that one is self-supporting because of the bolt, just like that one is.
Self-supporting, yeah.
Actually, that one might be on a post, so I can move it away from the post if you want.
No, just as long as it's not standing up on its own, as long as it's not self-supporting. So if you guys are hanging on to it, walking it, that's awesome. You can do that.
I mean, I think it's probably okay. I understand if you don't want to block the post and all that kind of stuff, so I get that. So I can remove it from the post, not a problem. But if it's freestanding,
if it's free, no, so I do need you to hang on to it and keep walking with it. So freestanding, because I am asking you to. The other entities are not allowed to come up and put their own signage on the property, and so I got to keep that uniform for everybody. So you can talk to me and an officer about it. So I'm just letting you guys know what's going on.
Yeah, it might be good to talk to an officer about it, especially if they have like a law that they could cite. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Melanie to CJ, can you send the officer out here?
Yeah. It'd be one thing if we were stapling things to poles and whatnot. You know, these things are easily portable.
That pole, like right there?
It's not stapled. It's easily removable with a bungee cord. A bungee cord, yeah, because a staple takes a tool to move it, you know, but a bungee cord just takes a hand.
It's doing the same thing. It's holding up the signage.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. However, the staple is more permanent. They're not happy with us affixing the signs to the posts. We have to hold them in our hands, apparently. So, actually, hey Melanie, I have a question for you. In sincerity.
I've got one of the officers coming out here. They'd like to talk to the officer.
Scripture.
Would you mind clarifying in a sec?
That God is three persons. Father, Son,
the nice demeanor went away real quick, didn't it? When you didn't get what you wanted.
I don't think that it did, actually.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, well then, could I ask you a clarification?
Here they are.
All right.
22 to 14.
No, indeed, to teach otherwise is heresy.
Hey guys.
What's going on, gentlemen?
This on the authority of God's word. Surely one man can stand up with God's word. And if what he says is true, it is the absolute truth, because there is a God in heaven and he speaks to men. And so when God teaches that he has eternally existed as three persons, when Christ prays to his Father, and when he says, "Now, Father, glorify me with the glory that I had with you before the world began," we can therefore conclude that Steven Furtick's message, his
Okay, so my question was,
view of the Bible is false,
given that they're
because
not
our
permanently
God
affixed to anything,
is triune.
I was just wondering what the difference
Again,
is
our God
between
is
if I have it like
triune.
leaning up in an A-frame like that, and
One
I'm
God
nearby,
in three
obviously,
persons,
just within a few
blessed
feet,
Trinity,
or if I were to have it here
the
next to me
King
with my
says.
hand on it,
But this is not
and
what
then
Stephen
take my hand
teaches.
away real quick, is that a
And
violation?
so the
Is that what we're talking
question
about?
is, if you disagree with Stephen Furtick on the most central issue of who God is, if he is in three
Yeah,
persons,
well, I mean, we're
or if he
here is
simply
the thing.
exists in
Like,
three
I'm not walking
modes,
away from the sign. It's not permanently
I'm
affixed to
pleading with you
anything.
reconsider, perhaps,
Sidewalk. It's got to be.
why you were here this
not
evening.
affixed to the sidewalk.
I'm not
It's-
judging
it
you.
is. It's-
I don't know your
it's
intentions.
freestanding right now.
Affixed?
I love you.
It's
as
affixed to the sidewalk?
Christ, but I'm exhorting you.
Standing on
No,
top.
affixed means it's supported by something else.
I want you to hold it up off the ground.
No, sir. That's not
Our
going to
God
happen.
is triune.
Whatever. That's a ridiculous thing to ask. Come on now.
What law is that?
Well,
Yeah.
those are definitely
Christ did
affixed.
not break
Sure, I offered to remove those.
Yeah, that's fine.
Melanie said that wasn't good enough.
I'm just
Christ
curious what
fulfilled
law
all
are you referring to?
righteousness, the scripture says.
I don't know. I'm sure you checked.
And
with
so my
the
question for you this evening
Yeah.
is,
You checked with
how
what?
did Christ fulfill
the
all
county
righteousness?
It's our
What-
property. It
If
is.
Stephen
It's county
Furtick
property,
says he
correct?
broke the
It is
law
county
for
property,
love,
And so
yes.
what does the law say?
think
Any
about how
county property, you
unpatently
cannot go affix
biblical,
any signage that you
unbiblical
want.
I'm
that
not
statement
fixing any
is.
signage.
It
We'll
is-
remove the ones that are
Stephen
affixed.
Furtick
I'll
says
take the ones off the
that
sign.
Jesus
Off the poles, yeah,
Christ
off off the poles.
broke the law
That's the
for
same
love.
thing as what's on the poles.
And yet the
Same thing.
apostle
I'll show you what I mean.
John
Fire
says,
marshal
"This
just
is
said
the
I had
love
to
of
keep them off
God,
the ground.
that we obey all that he has
Off the
commanded
ground.
of us."
What happens if I set them on the ground?
And so if John says the love of God is
If
keeping
if
his
I'm
law,
holding it, it's on the ground.
but
Now what?
Stephen Furtick
Am I in
says
violation of a law?
that
You said
through
off the
love,
ground.
Christ
Right.
broke
So
the
if I
law.
he's holding them right now. They're on the ground.
To
Is
reconsider
he in violation
how
of a law?
his message is.
No. Right now, is he in violation of a law?
Those are the
What law is he violating?
Stephen has said that God
I'll have to refer to
exists
County.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You don't.
biblical
That's part of
doctrine
the
of
First
the Trinity,
Amendment
that
law.
there's one
There's a
God,
First
three
Amendment law.
persons.
That's part of.
He has also said that
Yes.
Christ and
What's the
God
First
broke
Amendment
the
law?
for love,
We've got it
and
right
yet the
here.
Scripture teaches that Christ
First Amendment
Jesus
Constitution,
fulfilled all
various state laws in
righteousness.
public
He
areas.
kept
It does not
the
mean
law.
areas
He didn't
open
break
to the
it.
public in general like
The
malls.
Scripture
They are
says
still
that the
private,
love
but
of
areas
God is
controlled
to
by public
obey
entities like parks,
all that
courthouses,
He has
greenhouses,
commanded
public
of
areas,
us.
and public forums. There are
And yet
similar
Steven
public
Furtick
areas
says
owned by the
that
government
Christ
where the
had to
public's
break
invited
said
that you
law
cannot do
in order
certain
to
things like
procure
inside of
our
a courthouse
redemption.
as long as the distinctions are not content.
Again, these are not minor
what I'm
theological
referencing.
issues.
What does that have to do with holding
These are
signs off the ground?
issues
You're not holding it off
of the
off the ground right
highest
now.
degree.
It is freestanding
What
right
you
now.
read
Two main
says
issues
nothing
are
about
this.
holding signs off the ground.
Who is
Sir, I'm
God?
telling you what I'm asking you right now.
And
It is
how can
freestanding.
man's
It is
guilty
technically my
conscience
property,
before
and I'm
him
not allowing other
be
people
made
to come in here
righteous?
and hold up the signage.
And
I
to
don't
that,
understand why you
Steven
can't meet me
Furtick's
halfway on
answers
this.
are far from the biblical
You want me to hold the
witness.
sign up off the ground for
The
hours?
Scripture teaches
Because it's
that
legal.
God
Because it's-
is
because
You don't
three
have to
that's
hold
not-
it up.
Because
It
there's
just
no,
doesn't-
Father,
no,
Son,
he
and
said I
Holy
have to. The
Spirit,
fire
eternally
marshal said I have
Well,
to.
then you can go put it
in
back in your
one
car. You
being
can hold
one
on to it.
essence of
I will
God.
be.
This
I
is
will take them off of
Christian
the signs, the poles.
And yet
That's fine.
Steven Furtick
okay?
says that
But
God
I'm not
exists
going to hold them off the
in
ground the whole time.
three modes. That he is one
Yeah,
person.
what
And-
law?
And
What law are we
I wanna
talking
know
about?
What code
Goes
or law
against
would I be in violation of that you would cite me for? That's what I want to know.
If I put the sign on my foot as opposed to on the ground, I'd like to know what law specifies. Well, don't say, hey, I understand your request. What I'm asking you is what law would we be violating? It's a very simple question.
I want to know that if you write me a citation and I have to appear in court to defend myself, what law will I be in violation of? That's what I want to know.
You got this. I'll remove the signs now to show good faith.
Exhorting you
That's
that
what I
the
wanna know.
worldview
If
taught
you can come back with that and show me
Here
it in
by
writing where it
Steven
says in
Furtick
law, then I will
results
obey the law.
in a big
Okay?
pile of aborted fetuses, image bearers of God.
Okay.
That
I'm going to be close to this sign, but I'm.
I know it's a very gray.
Well, I'm going to be close to these signs, but I can't even promise I'm going to have my hands on them at all times either.
That is promulgated all over.
Okay.
So then technically,
This
is
nation.
it considered my property as well, since you're sitting it
Again,
on my
how
No, ma'am,
could
this
you
is my
have
property.
A proper
These signs are my
understanding
property.
Is it
of
though?
salvation,
Yes, ma'am.
as being born again.
Yes, ma'am.
John
Sure about
3.
that?
If you take those, I
you don't
will
even-
ask this officer right here
Again,
to
Steven
charge you
Furtick,
with
if you don't
theft.
even understand
But
the
it's
means by which
property.
Christ
I will
obtained our
request
salvation.
charges be pressed against you for
Stephen
theft of my
Furtick says
personal
that
property.
Jesus
On my
broke the
property.
law
This
for
is
love.
county property, ma'am.
But the scripture says in
Yes,
Luke
ma'am.
2 that he fulfilled all righteousness.
The only thing I think we're going to do here is we're not going to prop the signs up against their posts and stuff like that. That's the only thing we ask, okay?
All right, so let's take that.
Yep.
That sign.
I appreciate it.
Apparently they're saying that.
Dear
They're
friends,
saying
my
that
name
we
is
have to
Merrick.
hold
I
the
am a
signs
member
off the
of a
ground.
Baptist
In
church
fact,
on
she's
Tick
actually
Road.
saying
I'm
that
not a
because I'm
meanie
not, I
street
don't have my
preacher.
hands on this, she can
I
take
come
it because it's her
to
property.
exhort you this
Yeah,
evening that
I told her
Stephen
I would
Furtick's
ask this officer
gospel
to
is
press
not the
charges
gospel
against
we
her if
find
she
in the
does.
scriptures.
For theft.
God says in his word, and he teaches
She
all
says
throughout
this is
the
her
Old and New
property.
Testament that he exists in three persons.
It is.
Father, Son, and
It's
Holy
not owned by
Spirit.
her, it's owned by...
And yet Stephen
the government,
Furtick
the public.
preaches
Why would you take
that
it
God
down
simply
after the
exists in three modes.
I'm just trying to be at least a
Scripture
little bit
teaches that our
cooperational
Lord
with you. Yeah,
fulfilled
so
all
hopefully you'll
righteousness. He
allow us to
obeyed
go
all
back
of
about our
his
business
Father's
unmolested.
laws in order to gain our salvation. And yet we
Well, you
learn
have
from
officers
Stephen
of the
Furtick
law,
that
you have a
he
fire
broke
marshal
the
and
law
a
for
police
love.
officer here to try to
This
enforce
is
your will
not
upon you.
biblical Christianity.
Because you're putting some stuff on my side.
And so the
I took
concern
them
is,
down.
and we're pleading with you, be a good Berean. See what Stephen
So-
Furtick has said concerning the nature of salvation and
Okay,
the
thank
Godhead
you.
and the Trinity. By all measures, he is a heretic, and I do not say that lightly. I
So,
pray for him.
What's that?
I pray that he would cease leading people.
Oh,